We as humans like surprises, excitement, and we like magic. But one of the greatest powers we undervalue is pattern seeing. And the universe is full of patterns. The patterns don't always give you a perfect roadmap, but they give you clues, guideposts, and guardrails. Predictability isn't always a performative skill, but pattern awareness is a gift. And today I'm going to show you how pattern seeing can help you move with ease, notice where you're stuck, and lean into the way that feels aligned for you in the way that is more magical and wise. But first, it is Urban Magic Hopkins here, and today we're going to dive into something that feels like the key to a better life, and that is patterns. So you might be thinking predictability is boring because that's what patterns help you with, predictability. So you may be thinking it's boring. You may think that life is more so about the fun surprises or the gifts that you could do on stage to wow people. But what if I told you to learn to see patterns? It brings more freedom, it brings more clarity, and it brings you more flow for you to gain. Predictability isn't always a show you put on, it's the lens you wear. So let's jump in. What do I mean by pattern? They're repeating cycles, they're repeating structures, and they show up in a lot of various different ways. So one of the main ways that patterns show up is nature. Think about the seasons. Right now we're in fall, and it's my favorite time of the year, which is why I mentioned it. But for the most part, it is predictable, the 4 cycles that we have every year, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. You know they're coming, you know they're going to be there. So then we're able, as a human race, as a collective, we're able to work around it. We're able to use that to our advantage because we know when the tomatoes are going to be in season. We're going to know when the pumpkins are going to be just right, the apples, the oranges, all of that. And even stock of different types of animals in mating seasons, you could maximize on that. And that is a gift, a cycle that comes around every year. Think about Christmas. We know Christmas is coming the same time every year. So people are able to save. It helps them get in alignment to have a better holiday season. Just as an example, the universe loves pattern. Also, moon cycles. A part of that bigger infrastructure that comes down to a smaller part is that the moon goes on a 30-day cycle, and that is predictable, right? We have our crescent moons, we have our full moons, we have our half moons. But the moon cycles are predictable. And so are plant growths. You have succulents that grow all year round, but you have like winter berries that have high peaks. Different plants have different cycles. And then so this is a practical example for you to really understand how you could take advantage of patterns, and how we already do. You take advantage of it because you know it's coming. And so if it normally comes, and if it's coming your way, you could work around it. You could predict. You can make your life easier. Another point is the universe. The universe loves patterns and shape, right? Geometry is a big part of manifesting. Fractals, which are those beautiful symmetric lines. The universe is all about patterns, right? And things being proportion. So if the universe has patterns, then you could look for a pattern in the universe. But as of right now, I want you to think about your inner life. Think about the habits that you have every day: brushing your teeth, washing your face, combing your hair, the friends you talk to, the route that you go to work, how you handle yourself, how you communicate with your partner or your kids or your parents or just various people around your neighborhood. Think about that in your inner life. So you want to think about your habits. What are some habits that flow around a cycle? Because there is some predictability there. Also with other people, we are creatures of habit. So if you know someone that does the same thing every day, that is a pattern, because you could reasonably predict that they're going to be doing that. And then so therefore you could handle it however you want. Let's just say there was one time One time I was looking for a job and I knew that the VP went to this specific Starbucks in the perimeter area in the city that I lived. So I went there and I introduced myself and I didn't get the job. But fast forward a couple years later, I got a contract with them as a consultant. So I took advantage of that predictability. All right. And also, here's a really big one: repeating life lessons. The beautiful thing about the universe is it won't allow you to fail. It won't allow you to fail a test, because just like in grade school, you fail a grade, you get to repeat it. The same with the universe. If you fail a subject, you get to repeat it. Let's just say it's that type of job you're supposed to stay away from, but you keep taking it anyway. It's just going to repeat itself so you can move up in life. If you believe that you don't get anything that you can't handle, that's great. But how that works is that it's not going to put you in a situation that you haven't proven that you can handle. So that's that thing. You want to move up in life, well, you have to win the tests and beat where you are in order to move up. And the same thing about emotional cycles. Things that touch you emotionally or get you emotional are the same things. The bad boss that's been the bad boss that says the same things. It's on a repeating cycle. So what do? If your emotions are involved, then you have to detach, all right? I'm in a great space. Affirmations are great. I'm in a beautiful space now. Everything comes to me abundantly in beautiful and perfect ways. God has opened up the divine purse, and flow is mine, and divine supply is ultimate and infinite, and it is mine. I'm associating with that and detaching with the things that bring out the negative emotional aspects of me, the detachment there. And patterns aren't fixed maps. They don't promise exact outcomes, but they're guides, all right? And they whisper to you, here is the terrain. Here is the way to go. Now I want to share with you my bumblebee story. And I want you to imagine this scene with me. Every morning, there's a nest of bees near my door, right outside there. And I have to walk past them in order to get out. And sometimes I walk with zero fear, zero thought, just moving, smooth trust. And then there's morning, I'm extra aware. I'm extra cautious. I watch them and I watch the bees and I'm looking for it and I start wondering, are they going to sting me? And on those days, I feel heavy, I feel tense, and I feel complicated. And so the bees reflect that back to me by buzzing in my face, or I'm moving in closer to them and not even realizing it because I'm worried about them stinging me, that I'm not even being cautious about where I'm going, or I'm getting closer to them and not even thinking about it, because we manifest subconsciously by thinking about something, and it's like a command, and then the subconscious mind's moving you in that direction. So I was thinking, oh no, bees, 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 and I was walking closer to bees. So what's the difference? When I'm aligned, I see the pattern. Okay. When I'm cool, calm, and collective, and I'm thinking, I can see the pattern. I'm able to think, they're bees. Do they work? And I do mine. When I'm reactive, the patterns, the nests, and the bees become so much drama. When the pattern is always there. So my state, my awareness decides whether I can flow through or get tangled by it. So look at the bumblebees in your bumblebee zones, all right? A place in your life that you have to go through daily. Are you in fear about it? Are you in pattern vision mode so you can conquer it? Okay. Those are important things. So let's take a step back and zoom out, because the universe is patterns, the seasons, cycles of birth, growth, decay, and renewal. All right. And then there's sacred geometry and fractals. So you want to think of like the spirals, think of hexagons, think of honeycombs, actually, the golden ratio of shells and leaves. So you want to think about a golden comb and how it's beautifully symmetrical, right? So that is harmonious and harmony. And really how the universe works, there is beautiful symmetrics to it. Polarity, positive and negative, volatility up and down, and it shows in that secret, sacred honeycomb. All right. So think about that honeycomb and how the bees are in harmony and how you have an opportunity to be in harmony too by focusing on what you want to do and by seeing the divine goodness within the bees in your life whenever you have to walk past them. They're not an enemy, right? They are what you want them to be, and you are what you say you are, a superstar. And even in the cosmic world, there are galaxies, there's clusters and cosmic webs, and their structure is all rhythm and it's all form. So the universe is all rhythm and it's all form, which makes you a creature of rhythm and form. And because we're part of the universe, we also inherit the encoded intelligence. We carry micro patterns inside of our macro patterns, so to speak. All right, so now let's bring it on home. Patterns in your life and in ways that bring loops, all right? These repeating loops. Emotional loops. You feel what whenever what happens? Check yourself. When you feel something and it's a loop, you feel it often, maybe even daily. All right. What do you feel? I feel what when what happens? You got to identify it in terms of an emotional loop. So whenever I walk past the bees, I feel scared because I'm allergic and they can sting me. Right? So when I address it, okay, the days I say, okay, I know I'm scared of bees because they could sting me and I'm allergic and had a traumatic experience in the past when I was younger, but I'm able to move past that whenever I identify that. So then I say, I see the divine goodness in the bees and how they work out for me in perfect ways. I'm leaving my house to do this specific thing, a job, and I see the goodness in the job that they do. I'm focused and they're focused. And so we have that harmony. So those emotional loops, right? You want to identify it so you can address it. Next is those relationship loops. You attract similar types. What are the relationship loops that you have? Is it beautiful people with beautiful things to say that add value to your life? Or is it harmful people that ask for things and don't deliver them back or take away from your progression? What type of relationship loops are you attracting? Because we're attracting all the time and we have the power, right? We have the power to bring in the greatest of greats or the lowest of lows, okay? It's up to you. Creative loops. You begin projects, then you abandon them, or you always shine under pressure. What you looking like in your creative loops? Are you someone that always starts a project but never finish it? Or are you someone that shines under pressure? And there's no one way to be. If you are someone that are not able to finish projects, you start them a lot, that's fine. Because you know that pattern, because you know you start something and you don't finish it, I want you to recognize there's a pattern there. All right. You're able to predict what you will and what you will not do. So you could get an accountability partner. You could do a lot of things to negate that. The thing is, if you know it's coming, you could work around it and maybe even work through it. You can work through it. And if you're someone like me that shines under pressure, you may give yourself hardcore deadlines. That's what I do. I plan things out and I give myself hardcore deadlines because I know I just won't do it. I won't do it if there's not an expectancy around it. I won't do it if there's someone that, I won't have to disappoint. But if there is someone that will be disappointed because I'm not holding my end, then I'm more likely to get this thing done. I'm more likely to do my work, right? And since I know that, it is a tool for me, and I put myself in those situations because I work really well under pressure, and I get stuff done when I know people are waiting for a product from me, right? So then let's talk about growth cycles. You learn something, then you hit a plateau, then you get that breakthrough. So these growth cycles normally come under pressure. If there wasn't a bad, you wouldn't recognize the good, right? So that's why we have ups and downs. And really, that's why things are all good. It's all good. It's not all positive, right? We're optimism, because if we didn't have lows, we wouldn't have bad things, and we would not have an appreciation for good. So there's a balance there. So when you hit a plateau, maybe that means you need to take a break for a while, right? Or let's just say if you have a breakthrough, then that's the time to hit that green line and go. I'm really big about signs. And last week, I saw a grasshopper on my car, and I was thinking to myself, oh, I never see that. What does that mean? Let me tell you, if I see something that I rarely ever see, I feel like it's a sign, and then I look into it. So I saw a grasshopper on my car, and I was thinking, oh my God, what does that mean? So then I look up the symbolism of a grasshopper on the car. And the response I got was that a grasshopper can't hop backwards, right? It can only go forward. It's a forward type of species. So then the grasshopper is known for leaping forward. So the message from the universe was, because I was going through something at the time, don't give up. Keep going forward, keep leaping like that grasshopper. That's how I communicate. And I often see bugs to help me out along the way, because it was a dragonfly that kept me from getting in a car wreck before. So just an infinite amount of ways and things, but you have to be looking, right? And so that sign was bringing to me an idea that for this season, for this pattern, I needed to get in a moving momentum pattern in this season if I want to get stuff done. So I'm building a new training program called Manifesting More, an abundance mindset, right? And then so this one takes the previous law of attraction program, which has the basics on it, and then it helps you develop a mindset to where you could have a life of abundance, health, and wealth that you deserve. So in that season, since I know how I work, I needed to make sure it was stamped, that I had a schedule. And so I have someone that will hold me accountable, because I don't like to disappoint people. And every week I check in, and every week I get lessons done leading up to my big reveal and my big release. Okay, so that's how I can take advantage, and that is a good example, practical example of maybe getting an idea of start looking for things in your life to help give you some direction for the new season, because it's fall, y'all. Right now it is fall, and it is a perfect time for change. Fall is a season of change. So if you want to change, you don't wait for New Year's, right? You do it now. You do it in September, October, November, because when New Year's comes, everybody's doing the thing that they want to do. But by that time, if you start it now, whatever you're doing will be more successful, because people, the seasons, the universe, God are all more susceptible for change right now. People accept change. The leaves are turning. It's psychology even. So you could take advantage of that by getting what you want done now in this season. So that way, when it gets cold in winter and things start to freeze and it is what it is, you'll be in a really good spot with what you want to do, because you started your manifesting a little bit earlier. And when you see signs, you could ride it, change the tune, or you could deliberately shift your course. Instead of being surprised by the same trap that you know is going to come, it's not an emergency if you know about it, right? And you shouldn't be surprised if you know that there's a pattern that something you're involved in will repeat, because you are the magician that gets to tweak your melody, right? You are the master and the creator of your life. So you want to ask yourself, what seems to be repeating in my life? How can I bring consciousness to this pattern? Well, you start with just naming it as the beginning leverage. Naming what you know repeats is the first step. And since you know this thing will repeat, you could work around it or work through it, like ways that we already discussed. So I also want you to ask yourself, when and where does this pattern show up? What are its markers in its settings with which types of people? Is there a diagram type of pattern? Do you see it where it begins, and do you know where it ends? These are things that can help you master things when it comes to predictability. And do you feel that you know its purpose? Do you feel it is being used to help your purpose? Because patterns try to teach, they protect, and they evolve you. All right, even the bad patterns have some wisdom underneath it, and you have to ask yourself, what is this pattern wanting me to heal or see or do? And you respond with curiosity, certainly not with force. Force is resistance, which slows things down. So you've done the bulldoze pattern, right? You work through it, you strong armed your way, you can see the pattern come hell or high water, and then so what do? You move with it, you go with it. It shifts in small habits. You give gentle experiments to it, test it out. I test out the bees by just going outside, not close to them, but just in the perimeter, and see how they react to different mindsets. Don't be afraid to test. Patterns actually can be used like a power if you can see it that way, right? You just have to use your imagination. So here's some caveats to the balance that I want you to just stop for a minute and hold up, swell up. Don't become a cold pattern detective, right? Not every moment needs a pattern analysis. Some days you need rest, and some days you just gotta live, all right? But also, a pattern doesn't lock you in forever, right? Many patterns evolve. Some die, they move on, or they just transition. But using pattern awareness as a compass is important to you, to use it that way and not as a chain, all right? So here's what I challenge you to do for this week. And I just want you to pick one bumblebee zone and put in the comments a bumblebee zone that you have in your life that you're going to work through. And so that we could help and support you through our collective chat. All right. So pick one bumblebee zone in your life, a daily challenge, a repeat tension. All right. Decide to see the pattern. So you see it, you identify it. Then maybe journal it on what repeats. So you're unwrapping it. When does it happen? Where does it happen? Who is involved? How do you feel? These are things that you know will happen. These are feelings that you're most likely to have because you had them before. So you could predict that you will feel some type of way under these type of circumstances on these particular times that this bumblebee zone event happens. Learn it, wrap your mind around it, all right? And then see what wants to be taught to you. If you can see if there's a lesson to be learned, if there's a way to move or remove, what is it? All right? Then here's the part I want you to do. Walk past it with trust, all right? You don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to see it, and you need to see it again, and you need to move accordingly. If this resonated with you, hit the like, subscribe, and comment button so that you could get a good pattern here and we could get a good pattern together again for everybody, right? And I want to hear and I want to see you go and grow, and I want us to go and grow together. All right. So I had so much fun making this video with you, and I will leave you to it. I can't wait to see how you moved in the comments. And until next time, happy manifesting and make shift happen. Bye-bye for now.